This is figure 4.3 in our text, and it talks about the difference between total utility and marginal utility, and it's a pretty neat idea. The idea of marginal utility is that successive units of any item provide less and less satisfaction as you get more of them. And so what you see over here in the total utility column is that as you add a box of popcorn, you're increasing your satisfaction, but each box is not increasing it as much as the one before it, and eventually you get so sick and tired of it that you have disutility. And at the same time, in terms of marginal utility, remember that marginal utility is defined as the difference in total utility per unit. So marginal utility is declining, and look what's happening. It's coming down, and eventually here's the negative. The marginal utility becomes negative because you're sick and tired of it. So now I'm gonna pause this button, and I want to put up a figure, a formula for consumer equilibrium that explains how you and I use marginal utility thinking to allocate our budget. So hold on a second. All right, what this says, consumer equilibrium. I apologize, I couldn't get my computer program to do right for doing fractions, and so I'm expressing it this way. Consumer equilibrium, the marginal utility of A divided by the price of A has to be equal to the marginal utility of B divided by the price of B. And if we wanted to extend it, we could also say that the marginal utility of C divided by the price of C has to be equal to these above. So, for example, if we're talking about an item A, it might be bubble gum, and maybe item B is hamburgers. And so we say to ourselves, well, geez, a hamburger, you get most people get more satisfaction from it than they do from a piece of bubble gum, but the price of the bubble gum over here is a whole lot cheaper. Remember, it's the fraction, the marginal utility of A divided by the price of A. That fraction, parentheses, has to equal the marginal utility of the hamburgers over here divided by the price of the hamburgers. But remember, there's a million things you want to buy. There's also cars, and so the marginal utility of cars divided by the price of cars. So what that means is that somewhere in your head you are estimating marginal utilities and comparing that to the price of the thing and making some kind of judgment in your head whether you'd rather have hamburgers or bubble gum or cars. So the economist assumes that you're a rational person, and that's the way a rational person thinks, even if they're not aware of it.